Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into the show today. Now, today's episode, we're going to take a look at an interesting question and thought experiment. The idea in the credit card game is to maximize your setup so you can get max value from everything, having every category covered. However, is it possible to over-engineer, over-optimize, and gold plate your setup to a ridiculous degree? That's exactly what I'm debating, so let's talk about it. So, of course, if it sounds interesting, you go ahead, press the subscribe button, and let's get to work. Now, as you know, I'm a hardcore cashback credit card player, and the goal of cashback is to get 5% back in every category that you use. And then, of course, there are some obvious categories: groceries, gas, things like that. And you can get all the way down to the niche using something like the Cash Plus card for gym membership. A gym membership is only $30 a month for me, but you can do it, so you might as well get 5% back, right? And if you're doing this long enough, eventually you end up with quite the card collection. And the best part about cashback cards is the vast majority of them are free, so you can have a ton of them and you have your setup pretty much covered. And then, of course, you can go hunt intro offers, which I'm known to do as well. But, you know, new cards come out, new options come out, things like that. And so what brings us to this topic was two cards specifically, the AAA cards, the Daily Advantage and the Travel Advantage. So if you're unfamiliar with these cards, I'll put them both on screen for you. I have the Daily Advantage, but these are cards in the game that have no business being as good as they do, and it doesn't even make sense. So the Daily Advantage, again, it's got multiple categories. You don't have to be a AAA member, by the way. They don't even do that well on AAA. I think it's 3% back. But the reason you want the Daily Advantage is because it's 5% back on groceries, up to $10,000 in spend a year. Now, of course, that's on combined purchases, right? The combined categories, but when we're talking about having this many cards in your setup, well, then you would really just use it for groceries, which is what I do. Also, it works at Walmart in store, and like nothing works at Walmart to earn 5% back, save the new Walmart rewards card they made with OnePay. On the other hand, you have the Daily Advantage card, which is almost the exact same thing. It's another AAA card, except that one's 5% gas and EV charging. I think that one caps at $7,000 a year in spend. Why the difference? I don't know, but it doesn't really matter. You're probably not going to spend that much money in gas either way. And so you can see these cards are pretty good, especially now. I think the Daily Advantage ends up being more popular because with groceries, you know, everyone has to eat food. Everyone goes to the grocery store, and in cashback land, you really can't get that high on groceries on any other card. With gas, you can PNC Cash Rewards at 4%. Costco card's pretty popular, or you can do what most of us do and slot a custom cash in there for gas. That's what I do. So anyways, why are we focusing on these two cards if I have one? Well, for the longest time, the rule was you can only have one of these cards. You can product change between the two, but you can only have one. Now, I'm going to show you a Reddit post. Don't go out and do this. I have no idea if this is real or not. I did not do this, spoiler alert, but this is what prompted the whole thought process of this, and I thought, why not, instead of talking to myself about it, talk to you about it. So here you go. This gentleman from Reddit, he posted, he says, hey, AAA data point for AAA Daily and Travel Advantage approval. So he wanted to share his data point regarding an approval for both cards. To my knowledge, and based on what I've read, possessing both cards in the same time wasn't allowed unless you're an authorized user. I agree with that. So back in July, he was approved for the Daily Advantage, 10K limit. Cool. Then he product changed shortly after to the Travel Advantage. Cool. And after he, around this time, attempts to open the opposite card failed, which makes sense. Now is where it gets interesting. Back in October, I applied for the Daily Advantage card again on a whim after seeing an ad for it on Facebook. Applied using a different email address in the same bio details, obviously. And he received a new hard pull from Community. That's who issues it. And it was approved. How about that? That's amazing. Now, this is one, again, I cannot stress this enough. This is one person. How this person, I believe it, because this is such a niche thing. I can't even get people to get the AAA cards. They're so good, but I get nothing for these. I have no links for these cards or whatever, but I don't think this is fake. But the fact that you could slip in, and when they have your social security number, name, address, all that, and just using a different email address, is insane. Now, the way Community's set up is they have a few different cards of Bread Financial, so I guess it could make sense from like if you want to pay my AAA card through the app, you make a user profile, and if I had another card with them, I can see where it's set up that I would have to make another profile versus them adding it to the same list, because again, they do manage a few cards. Like they have the Bread Financial card, which you're presented with a different login, I guess is the better way of saying that. If you're going to do the Bread Financial card versus the AAA card, instead of them all just being like in your one, like Chase cards would be like your Amazon, United, Hyatt, Freedom would all be in the same landing page. So I could sort of see it. It just seems like they'd be able to catch it. So anyways, this, of course, instantly got me thinking of like, man, if I could get the travel advantage as well. And so now we go into the pros and cons of this, and I think that's really where the answer is. Because ideally, as we said in the beginning, the goal is to get your setup to cover as much things as possible for as little as possible. And so the benefit here is that it's a $100 intro offer, so it's not the craziest thing in the world. But if you take a card like the Travel Advantage, it's an otherwise useless card. You would only use it in the scenario that we're talking about for maximizing a 5% back setup. You would only use it for gas and EV charging. As where what I'm using right now, a custom cash for gas, you could technically use for a bunch of different things. If you're unfamiliar, again, the custom cash is a Citibank card. It's 5% back on $500 a month on your top spend category. So what Citi, of course, wants you to do is just swipe like crazy, and then they'll pick your top spend category. However, what you're supposed to do, what we all do, is we dedicate it. We only use it for gas, or we only use it for dining, which is, I have 2 custom caches, and that's how I do it. They're labeled. That way you don't have to worry about it. So the advantage is you swap in a travel advantage card that's otherwise worthless, has no other use case, and you free up a custom cash, and you take a look at the categories again: restaurants, gas stations, grocery stores, select travel, select transit, select streaming services, drugstores, home improvement stores, fitness clubs, live entertainment, and you free it up, and there you can use one of those. The reason I didn't end up doing this is because I don't really need another one of these categories, or we end up kind of at diminishing returns, right? So if I'm looking at the categories, the one I could use, home improvement would be nice to have a 5, I don't need it all the time. And that's the benefit of the custom cash. It switches, monthly. So, the new statement cycle, you could pick a new category or something like that. So it doesn't always have to be home improvement. It could basically just be another wild card. I also thought putting it in at fitness clubs. As we covered in the beginning, my gym membership's only $30 a month. It used to be the Cash Plus, but for the moment, US Bank will not let me product change my Smartly card that I'm no longer using back into a Cash Plus. I called them literally yesterday and tried again. I call once a month to see if I can do it. And they're like, no, still can't do it. So you could do something like that. For me personally, I'm not a fun person, so I don't pay for streaming services. I don't find value in them, so I don't. Drugstores, nah. Home improvement, we covered that one. Live entertainment, again, I'm not a fun person, so I'm not going anything. So you can see, even if you got the travel advantage, what would I actually use this card for? It'd be either something like super small, or technically maybe another wild card, but I don't really need another wild card per se. Because again, if you've seen what we're working with here, we've got, these 3 down here are gift cards, but we're pretty much loaded. I have 3 customized cash cards. I can also switch the category from if I need them, and home improvement is an option. That's my daily advantage, by the way. So these aren't even all my cards. My custom caches and my unlimited cash are in my actual wallet. So good problems to have for sure. The other reason I didn't end up doing it is because I think it's probably the bigger one is opportunity cost of being at 724, 7 and 12 right now technically. By the time next year comes, I'll be able to go on a bigger run, and I think I'll be able to make much more. I know for a fact, just getting one Inc. 900 offer, or a Business Signify from Wells Fargo, or even that Journey card that I keep crushing on for $600. Even one of those intro offers would make me significantly more than I would get back at 5% gas for the year. Even when I was driving back to Detroit and back every day, which is 40, 45 minutes, sometimes longer, the dead of winter. I wasn't earning that much cash back with gas. So I really think the answer for me came down to opportunity cost, trying to lower my hard pulls, lower my new account so I can get back into the money and go chase intro offers. Would I have tried this assuming this thing works? Yeah, I would have tried it if I didn't have anything else to do or I've already had a much lower count. And the reason being is because, we've seen cards come and go before. These AAA cards, I think it used to be with Bank of America before Comenity and Bread got them. And so, usually if you can get a card, you get lucky and you get grandfathered in, they keep the product going. So I don't think anything's going to happen to these cards anytime soon, but there have been plenty of times where you wanted to get something, but you didn't put it high enough on the radar, and you wait long enough, and then it's gone, right? And you can't get it anymore. So that's the other concern. Like, hey, and just because I don't have a use for a freed up custom cash now, doesn't mean I won't in the future. And that's kind of why it lends itself to will you, won't you type thing. But in the end, I think the answer to the question is no, it's not possible to overdo or over-engineer your credit card setup, especially in cash back when all these cards are free. I don't have a single annual fee card right now. That's, of course, I told you what's in my actual wallet that I carry. So I can have all these and it's fine, It doesn't really cost me anything. It literally doesn't cost me anything. It's not like if you wanted to over-engineer a travel setup, like that can get expensive. That's what holds American Express back. It's expensive to get all those cards and get everything covered. With here, not expensive at all. In fact, as long as you keep some of these cards active, keep using them once a year, whatever it is, you should be fine for the most part. So I do want to try it. I desperately want to try it because I'm just an over-optimizer, but I'm not going to because, again, the answer for me came down to opportunity cost. If, I was 0.24, then yeah, I probably would throw a rock at it just to see if it works, just to lock it in, because to me that still then shows an improvement in the credit card setup. And at some point the goal is always to amass as many 5% cards as possible that you run out of options, and if that is opened up to this little loophole is opened up, then you might as well. Again, I wouldn't really try this. I don't think it's worth too many people's time to give it a shot. You really have to be in this degenerate mindset of ooh, I can over optimize type thing. So I know that was my thought process. You let me know what you think. Did I do decent by your book, showing some level of restraint and not trying this, or should I have just done it? Well, I mean, it's not too late. I could still give it a shot and see if it works. You let me know down below. Let me know where you land. How have you over-engineered, over-optimized your setup? Just because, as they say, anything worth doing is worth overdoing. Anyways, guys, that'll do it for this one. So, of course, if you liked it, drop me a thumbs up. If you found it particularly interesting, consider subscribing to the channel. So we're posting content just like this every single week. Of course, right back here every Sunday with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. And, of course, every single day over on ProfitableContent.com, which is the channel's blog. It's always linked down below for you. We have latest news stories. We have plenty of bank promotions. And if you want to start over-optimizing, we have credit card offers as well. Anyways, guys, that'll do it for this one. As always, thanks so much for watching. We'll talk to you very soon in the next one.